Hello, I'm using my voice today and I hope you enjoy. This is a tutorial for the capture and playback mod that Games for You made. I'll put his link in the description. So, what you will need is obviously the mod. You'll need game speed and capture and playback mod, which I'll also link in the description. And this is a tutorial for them. Yeah. So first of all, you should press G, then go to the hotkeys section. So yours will look like that. Then go to hotkeys, find toggle channel rendering and set that to any hotkey. So mine is set to O, and then you also need create new channel. Mine is set to U. You don't need to do these. These three you don't need to do, but if you're doing like a lot of piston extenders, no, never mind. So I'll show you what these do as well, but you don't need them for now. And I haven't done these yet, but I don't think they make a big difference. Anyway, so once you're in Minecraft, you have to type the following commands to. So every time you want to make something, you do /composition new, then name it what you want. So these are all the ones I've done. So I'll just name this test 2, and you can't have a space. So what I do is an underscore instead. And then you enter. And then if you want, in the future, if you want to load test, you can do composition load test 2, but you don't have to once you've just made it, it's already loaded. So then when you press G again, which is how I open this up, and the hotkeys, you shall probably find this, but if you don't, then you'll probably see this. So what you do is go to the capture and playback tab and edit composition. And once you're in here, what you have to do is press T and it makes a track. Now the track is basically, I know it's a good way to organise different things. So you can have multiple tracks. If I keep pressing T, to get rid of them you press Control T. And yeah. And then once you've made one, you double click anywhere, but it's easier if you do it there. Then you drag this all the way to the start, then double click on this, then you've got this. And once you've got that, you hover over a piston, and then you press your create new channel option whilst you're in this and hovering over a piston. So you press U, and if nothing comes up, then press the toggle channel rendering hotkey, and if you press that, that will come up. And if you want to get rid of this, you can press that hotkey again and again. So I have this, and as you can see, I can't see the piston through there, but there's an option where you can see it through blocks, but I don't use that. So if you go here, as you can see, you've got this now. Once you double click on this, you've got this. You can rename it to whatever you want, so I'll just name it piston. Now, you don't have to name it. And this is that piston. And if you want to select another piston, just press the same hotkey and a new thing comes up. And then to delete them, you press that. To make this piston 0 tick, what you do is right click and do new entry, and to delete an entry, you right click and do delete entry, or you can hold down and drag a bit and this comes up, and then if you drag for a long time it gets longer. So this, if it's this long, it is a 0 tick. And to start your track, do / playback start, and as you can see, it's 0 ticked. And if you make this look, so each of these is a game tick, and this bar you can scroll through them. So each of these is a game tick. So far, and 3 game ticks is a tick, if you didn't know. And you can hover over it and drag it. So you can drag it both ways, but I can't go below 0. And you go to 3, and that makes a 1 tick. That makes a 2 tick. And if you drag it so it goes from, so it's like 2 long, then it's a 1 tick. And if you make it any longer, it's a 2 tick. And then if you make it really long, it becomes a really long, and it extends for longer. So you can also drag this. If you go to the middle and drag it along. So now it will 0 tick at the 8th game tick. So you wait a bit, so it waits a bit, and then 0 tick. And that's noticeable if you go far away. Then if I type playback start, it waits a bit, then does it. What you can also do is click on the ends, not drag, and this happens. Basically what that means is it powers, but then it unpowers but doesn't update the piston. So that means if it's long and you don't update the piston, it means when you do this, it stays on until you update it, which I haven't used much, but you can use it, and it's the same on the other side. Or you can right click on it and do entry type, but it's easier just to click. That's how you control a piston. And now I will show you how to make these things. So first I'll show you this. So I'm going to use a different track, so I press T to make a new one. Then I will highlight this back piston, and just so I remember, I'll call it back piston. And then I will highlight where the front piston will be and call it front piston. I'm not good at spelling, so I don't know if that's correct. So what will happen now is if I make that a 0 tick, when I do playback start, that was 0 tick. Then because there's a block in front, you can't instant extend. So it will be 1 tick apart, and 1 tick is 3 game ticks. So I'll do another 0 tick there. So it's like that. Then because I want to retract it again, 3 ticks later I will do that. So now it does. Or what I can also do is drag this, so now it's like that. But I'm making it so it's pushing, not spitting out the block, so this will have to be that long, because then 2 ticks, but then this also has to be longer so it can retract it. So it goes like that, and I'll make a new piston for the last retraction or something, and then that will happen 3 ticks later, because 3 game ticks later, because that's 1 tick, and it has to be 1 tick, otherwise it's too fast. Then when I do playback start, that's what happens. If you don't want to see these colours, you can press the other hotkey, this hotkey, the toggle channel rendering, and then if it doesn't work, that means it's gone to this see-through mode. So then you press it again and it's gone. Everything still works, but it looks a bit nicer. So now it gets a bit more complicated when you're doing like a folded piston extender. So I'll just do the retraction for this one. So what I will do is I will make a new track by pressing T, just so it's a bit easier to understand. Then I'll go to the first game pick. We'll highlight this piston. I know what to call it. First piston maybe. So that will go straight away. As you can see, ignore that. That still happens because we're in the same composition. And then what happens is, let's highlight this piston and this piston. I'm not going to name them. I don't know what to name them. So what happens after this has done that, we have to do that and that one micro tick apart. And the micro tick is even shorter than a game tick, I think. I'm not a zero tick expert. And to get those, what you do is you click on the number and smaller numbers come up. So what I will do is create a new entry, which is the white piston, which goes first. Oh. Then drag that down. Oh, you might have to do a short drag like that. So you drag it for a short time. And so that goes. So now, because I did that 3 game tick later, it should be a tick later. So now what happens is that. We also need this to power, but 1 micro tick after. So we put it in that section. So if we reset, it works like that.
Finally, to finish, I will show how to make a 1x2 2x1 semi-hit fiddle. So what this is that all of this mod is good for 0 ticks, more than 1 ticks. This mod is good for 0 ticks, more than 1 ticks, I think. So this I'll do this 0 tick. So I'll make a new track. Again, double click slot. So this, oh, I need to press I with hotkey to say that. I'll just call that main piston, because I think it's the one that gets used the most. So that goes at the first game tick. And then 3 ticks later we need to do that, so I'll highlight that. Call it storage piston. And that, because this is 0 tick, can go 0 game ticks later. So I just put it there, so now that happens. Then I need to power this piston again. So I will put one there. So now it's closing up. And now what I like to do, but you don't have to do it, you can make 2 compositions. So you can do composition new again. So you can do one for the opening and one for the closing, but what I like to do is do the closing and like go back here a bit and just make the opening happen a couple ticks later. So opens, waits a bit and closes. So that's what I will do. So the main piston goes. So we've got to here. So then the main piston goes, and then the storage goes 1 tick later. So that would be there because you count 3 along. And the double piston extender happens. So I'll highlight that on the bottom bit of double, I guess. So that can go. I think it can go there. I'm not sure. Yeah, it can go there. And then because there's no block here, we can do an instant extension. So we highlight this. That would be like the top bit of double extender, and that can go in the same game tick because it's an instant extend. If you know 0 ticks, you should know that already. So I can do that, and then we need to retract the green piston back. So I did one there. Then the main piston goes right at the end, 1 tick later. Doing that, so what we want is that. So that's what it's doing. If you're interested. And finally, in game tick, because it's an instant extend. If you know 0 ticks, you should know that already. So I can do that, and then we need to retract the green piston back. So I did one there. Then the main piston goes right at the end, 1 tick later. Doing that's sort of what we want to start.
So that's what it's doing, if you were interested. And finally, if you want to make it so there's a button that powers this, if you give yourself a command block, so /give @p command block, and you get a button, you can place the command block down, and then press P again to open this, go back to the composition so you can remember what it's called. So mine is test2, so I do composition load test2. So now that will load the composition of test2. Then I place another command block facing out so the arrows both go this way, I think. Change this to chain, so it should be this colour. Then go to conditional, I think, and always active. And in this one you do playback start. I think that's what happens. So now when you press the button, even if you load, I don't know, a new composition, like a 3x3 or something, it will load this and then play it. So you can use those command blocks. So that, I think, is everything. Comment down below if you have any questions and I'll try to answer them in a video or in the comments. And that should be the video done, I think. So if you want, you don't have to watch this bit, but if you wanted to see all of these at once, you can watch. So if I do playback /playback start, I know, I like watching loads of things happen at once without redstone. So you press T to make a new track, use this hotkey to select a piston, this to show what pistons you've selected. Oh yeah, and these, show you what those do then. So what these do is, so if we go to this track, because this track, yeah, this one. So if we've got a lot of pistons and we want to power them all at once, but instead of doing this, so highlighting all of them individually and making so they all go like that, what you can do is, I get rid of those, we get pistons back. What you can do is use select channel, which will select this pink thing or whatever colour it is, and you go back to this. So you press that hotkey, so now there should be arrows on the outside. Now you press this hotkey, which I've set to V, but the add channel position, and then you select the other piston and press that hotkey. So now all of these are selected as the same one, and if you want to get rid of it off a piston, you can press remove, which then removes it. It also shows that if it's I think, so I don't want that one, so I'll delete it and select this and do one of those. So now if I make that piston power, they all power as the same thing, which is quite useful. I think that is it. So, oh,